Given that the Second World War was fueled by the need to disarm oppressive and racist regimes, is it fair that the BNP has hijacked Churchill as its own?
Is it fair the BNP has hijacked Churchill? Jack Straw.
It's certainly not fair. And one of the extraordinary things about the Second World War and the First World War was not only that we fought Nazism in the Second World War and defeated it, a party and an ideology based on race, just like another party represented here today, based on race, fundamental to its constitution. And it's that difference, by the way, the fact that the BNP defines itself on race, which distinguishes it from every other political party I can think of. And what is common about every other political party that I can think of, regardless of the differences, is that they each have a moral compass, and they show respect, a recognizable moral compass for them based on long-standing cultural and philosophical and religious values of Western society.
I'm not a politician. I don't know anything about politics. My background is culture, and I'm a historian. Nick and I both have undergraduate degrees. Do you have it? You have an undergraduate degree in history, right?
In law.
Law. Okay. Okay. The problem with this Churchill thing is the problem with a lot of the history of the British people that Nick Griffin has on his website. You see, Churchill. If you look at the Constitution of the BNP, I know it's, you know, you have to change it now. That'll be interesting. No, you can laugh, but if I was a BNP member, I'd be scared. You might not do that. The thing is, Churchill's mother was an American. Now, there is hints in her side of the family that they were also possibly Mohawk Indian. Now, if all of this was brought together, Mr. Churchill couldn't have actually been a member of the BNP as it was constituted. That's the absurdity of the whole thing. And you do have to ask yourself a question. What kind of so-called political party is based on an idea of indigenous people? It just doesn't exist.
Okay, let's I'll come to you, Chris, in a moment. I'll go to some
control the British broadcasting media, then perhaps one day the British people might change their mind and say, yes, every last one must go, every single member of an ethnic minority. And this is the man who actually said, when we're thinking of Churchill and fighting fascism, yes, Adolf went a bit too far. Now, which bit too far, Nick Griffin, did Adolf Hitler go? Was it in gassing the Jews? Was it in bombing British cities, where he's now trying to get votes?
Chris, that's another one of those lies.
Wait. Sorry, which lie?
I'm talking about the one Adolf went a bit too far. I never said such a thing. I am the most loathed man in Britain in the
all right, you've made up facts. The question was about immigration policy. Can the success of the BNP be explained by the misguided immigration policy, which the immigration policy that you call the greatest act of genocide against the British people in history, according to your website? The immigration invasion, an act of deliberate, calculated genocide against our ancient race and nation. So successive governments are committing genocide against their own people. Is that your theory?
I'm afraid that's the case. Yeah, that's certainly how
That's
it
your
looks.
theory.
From the ordinary grassroots position, when all the political elite celebrates all the multicultural diversity and
do you know the definition of
Door.
genocide?
Yes, I do, and it is
What
about,
is the definition
it's
of
about
genocide?
destroying, the United Nations definition is about destroying a culture
How
by
appalling
not
that you
allowing
use that
children to
word in
learn
that
their
way.
own culture, for
How
example.
appalling, Mr. Griffin, that you use that word in that
Right.
way.
Bonnie Greer. Bonnie Greer. Bonnie Greer.
Look, the term indigenous, first of all, there was an ice age here. There were no people here in the ice age because they couldn't live in the ice.
Let's not go too far.
Hang on, no, this
Bonnie,
is the
let's not
point.
go too far
I'm
back.
not. No, listen.
We'll be here all night if we start at the Ice
Age. David, Nick Griffin calls his party for indigenous ice age. Am I wrong?
The people largely descended by
All
the people
right,
who came
okay.
here when the ice melted.
Okay, when the
17,000
ice
years.
melted 17,000 years ago, people came up from the south, didn't they? They couldn't come from the north. Where would they have come from the south? All of us, and you know this because you have a tube in history, all of us are descended from Africa. You wouldn't disagree with that, would you? Okay, now the only people who were here on this continent, and I've got a lot of books, in fact I brought a lot of stuff for you to read, Nick, because you need it. The only people who were here, and I call them people, were Neanderthals. Those were the people who were on the European continent. Now, if you don't believe that, you can come to the British Museum. We got lots and lots of information for you. I really wish you come, because the history you got on your website is a joke. It's wacky. And anybody who would seriously get upset by it...
You're in the middle of the white shirt there. I know you've spoken already. No. So
Don't we start having the honest debate?
We're having an honest
You have
debate.
to start having an honest debate. You're in denial, and that gentleman is right.
All right. Nick Griffin, he says it is working. Do you think it's working?
I don't think it's working. You see with your own eyes what's going on in towns and cities all over Britain. The place is changing at a huge rate, and the ordinary public simply do not want it. And it's time the elite learned that.
The man in the blue, with the blue tie, on the pale blue tie there, and the blue suit. Yes, sir.
Yes, why are we letting thousands of immigrants into our country when we have rising unemployment?
Why what?
Because why are we letting...
Who said that?
We have rising unemployment in this country.
Yeah, go on then, speak up.